Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Loud and clear, brother.
Perfect.
We ready to go?
Okay.
No, not yet.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened.
I think the intro's still going on. Oh, okay. Hey, man, peace, paradise to all American Aborigines. Hey, man, we got a full house today, man. But y'all see the title, man. It's Haven Bullets versus. Did you put Black Lotus in the title? Man? Lotus Civilization. Hey, man, peace to the brothers, man. We got a full house, man. So we got people in there on the panel too. We got No Sellout, Light Paul, Jay Seshwana, Todd Data around here somewhere. We got TMH. Global International LLC. Gotcha. He in the building too. And yours truly, Chief Holiday in the building. And man, we got Haven Bullets and Black Rose is beautiful, man. So let's get into the show, man. Before we get going, man, we just wanted to let them introduce themselves, man. Haven, you go first, brother.
All right, peace. My name is Haven Bullets.
I'll let Haven go.
Peace, y'all. My name is Haven Bullets.
Hey, you home too?
We here to debate. Hello?
Go ahead, brother.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
All right, peace. My name is Haven Bullets. Y'all know what I do. I'm just here right now to debate Pan, because I'm saying that Pan and the Pan and Pan-Africanism does not stand for Pan the God. Black Lotus, or I think his name is Lotus Civilization now, the brother, he said it stands for Pan the God. We're going to have a little debate, a little discussion, see if we can get to the bottom of this.
And I also would like to add this little caveat to the debate, because you've been making a lot of videos, and you really don't believe in the whole Aboriginal paradigm and things and stuff like that. Whatever. You made some videos, and we kind of want to like add this into the conversation. Do you mind?
You want to talk about the videos I made? We can talk about that a little bit after the debate, because it ain't gonna take that long. He gonna show what he gonna showing, and I'm gonna show what I gotta show, and it's gonna be pretty clear who was right and who was wrong in the first couple of minutes. But so we could get into that too a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, everybody's muted. They muted their lines.
I told you it's small spaghetti on the shirt already.
DJ Goldmouth.
Hey, well, okay. So Haven's in the building. Haven Bullets in the building. We got Lotus in the building. Okay, man, y'all can go ahead and just get the conversation started, man. Haven's the away team. Lotus, you the home team. So we're gonna let Haven go first, and then you come in after that.
Okay.
All right.
Now, as mentioned earlier,
hey Lotus, he was about to go.
About a presentation on Lex Vortex's channel
Lotus.
about Pan-Africanism, and I gave details to the origins and etymologies of these words.
Yeah, Lotus.
And I expressed the
Greek
word, which means it goes back to Greek symbols. The word Pan is the deity Pan in Greek mythology. What I did not share in my presentation is I didn't expect anyone to challenge that. So our good brother Haven Bullets made some comments or statements about the situation of the way that I did my presentation. Many people took offense to it for good reason. But when it comes to that hand, in a grave mistake, Bullets made that mistake himself. See, they're looking at this word as in the letters P-A-N. No, that is not how you do it. We're talking about a Greek word. The Greek word has its own symbols. Now, I didn't share that in my presentation. I just waited it, basically setting that. So I would love to see how Pan does not come from the Greek deity Pan. And I am going to show that since the age of 11, I mean, I could get my parents in to show and prove that I got an A+ on my report, in sixth grade. And the topic was about Hermes pertaining to Pan. This is why I had this knowledge at 37 since the age of 11 years old, that these symbols are tied into the name of a deity used to mean all. Now, the word Africa, we could deal with that too, but the focus was Pan and the fact that our good brother Haven here said that Pan means all, that it is not the deity. So that was the main argument, something that I really wanted to deal with. And I would love to see what our good brother Haven Bullets has to bring forth.
Yeah.
To show and prove that it's not the Greek deity.
Me? I can come in? All right.
Okay.
The Pan, because he's looking at the word Pan as just the word by itself. And the word by itself, it is referring to a Greek god. But the word Pan is yes, in Pan-Africanism, is also Greek. But when you use the word Pan as a prefix and attach it to a word, it changes to all. That's what the word means. It's just like in English, words have different meanings depending on the context you're using them, and in the way you're using them, they change meanings. It's the same thing with the word Pan. It changed meanings. If you use the word just Pan by itself and you're referring to the god, then yes. But if you're using it as a prefix in conjunction with another word, it changes meaning. That's where you was getting it mixed up at. Because you're looking at the word by itself. What you got to understand is when you use the word in conjunction with another word the meaning of the word changes. That's about that's the difference. We know Pan is the name of a god, but when you use it again as a prefix, it changes. Just like you could use the word Pan in medicine. And it has a medical definition when you use it as a prefix also. It changes. Yes, the word Pan is Greek. Yes, the word Pan is referring to the Greek god. But when you use it in a different context, when you use it that way as a prefix, it changes meaning. Just like the word justice. If I'm not mistaken, justice is the name of a Roman god. But when we use the word justice today in English, it does not mean we not call it on God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
Can you give Pan? Can you use Pan in a way you're saying? Can you use it with another word so you can so for those of us who don't fully understand what you're saying, you can give us an example if you use the same word Pan, something else, and show us how it do what you're saying.
Pan-Asianism, Pan-Christianity, and if we're gonna do
so Pan-Christianity, is that just Christianity, or does the word Pan make it something different because it got Pan?
Yeah, and when it got the word Pan in it, it means all Christians or every Christian. Like the word means all or every, but most people just use all. And like when you use the word like I think in the medical sense. Let me see if I could see it in the medical sense.
So you can say Christians, and that refers to all Christians, or you can say pan Christians, and that refers to all Christians too. Is that what you're saying?
No, like Christian, you could be referring to just pretty much Christians, like people who believe in God. But when you say I want to start a pan Christian movement, that means I'm trying to link up with all the Christians. We work together, because there's different types of Christians that don't work with each other. But if I was to start a pan Christian movement, whether you was Catholic, Bishop, Methodist, evangelical, whatever, we all gonna come up underneath this one title. It's the same way with like Pan-Asianism. If you look up Pan-Asianism, it's basically in reference to all Far East Asian. Not to be, I don't want to be stereotypical, but the ones that look alike, like the Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Vietnamese, Javanese. That's what it's in reference to. That's because when you use the word as a prefix in conjunction with another word, that's how it changes. It just means all. So you could, and people use that word like that for movements. So it's like if I wanted to start a Aboriginal movement, we know there's different groups of Aboriginals who believe in different things. But I say, you know what? We're gonna start a Pan-Aboriginal movement, but we just gonna rock out as Aboriginals. We gonna still have our own little differences, but when we come before, let's say, the Kemetic community or whatever community, we gonna move as one, and we just gonna rock out as Aboriginals. We're gonna put that first, and everything else gonna fall up underneath that.
Okay, Black Lotus, you buy that? I believe I understand what you're saying. Basically, like Paul, you understand what he's saying? I believe I understand. He's saying like instead of saying like all Christians, you can say pan Christians.
Yeah, I get it.
But because you say pan Christians, you referring to a certain sector of the Christians. Is that what you're saying?
It's basically a fancy way of saying all Christians. Like if I say let's get together all Aboriginals, but I decide to say let's get together all the Aboriginals and start a movement, and somebody else says let's start a Pan-Aboriginal movement. It means the same thing.
Right, I understand what you're saying, because I'm just having a hard time understanding, because if I just say all Aboriginals, or if I just say us Aboriginals, I'm referring to all of us. And then if I say, Pan-Aboriginals, that would you're still referring to all of you, right? So, but it's just a different way of saying it. Okay, I got it, y'all, got it. Chief Holiday, I'm finna go ahead and step out. Yeah, I don't know how to do this shit. I'm not a debate hoster, man. Chief, you know how this shit goes. Man, where's D-Red at, man? Where's D-Red at? D-Red know how to do this shit.
Is Chief not on?
Chief in and out. Black Lotus in and out.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, there you go.
Well, yeah. So basically, what we're saying is that Haven agrees with what Lotus is saying, and that basically the definition did slightly change a little bit, whatever, but it still comes from the same thing. So basically, that debate is over. Can we be honest about that? Is that over?
I would say that.
That round went that's if that's the whole debate, I just says one round. That round went to Lotus.
Yeah,
it was over.
Done it in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was actually over already because he agreed.
No, I agree that the word pan by itself means the God, but pan as in a prefix means something different. Lotus said that pan does not mean that at all. It doesn't mean all, even if you're using it as a prefix. That's the difference me and him having. He's claiming that.
Where the hell you at?
That's what that's how this whole thing started. Because let me give a little backstory. Lex Vortex, when he was doing the show, he had Lotus on and he was talking, and I was listening. And then Lotus made the claim that pan does not mean all, but it does refer to the god. So when people talk about Pan-Africanism, they actually calling on a Greek god. And that's when I made a video to refute that. And then that's when me and him started talking. We were supposed to have this debate a long time ago, just that we never got the chance to actually link up. But that's what it really was about.
Okay.
That's a disagreement.
Okay, Lotus, go.
All right. Yeah, I had some issues on my laptop. Okay. Now here goes the Lotus revealing. Let me get to it. I wish I could screen share right now, but if you go look up Pan, okay, my laptop's acting up. If you go look up Pan in Greek mythology or any type of mythology, it's always going to bring you back to where Pan means all and why it means all, because that is one of the roles of Pan, that he delighted all. They took out he delighted and just left all as a representation of Pan. And that's when I said after that in rebuttals, not in when I did my presentation on Lex Vortex, that it's the same thing. That's why it says it means all. It's because Pan's title, if you go look up the Hermesian story where you find Pan in actual Greek text, you're going to find that Pan delighted all. And I have another one to that. It's going to blow your mind that actually it does not mean all. But when they use it in this Pan-African way, or Pan, whichever continent you want to say, or any type of theology, they'll say that it means all. When you dig down into the Akkadian Greek, you're going to find that it means. That's why I was saying that, unfortunately, in this conscious community, nobody really deals with the etymology of these words. Now, when they take this word and they slap all on it, they're coming from the roles of Pan. And it said Pan was born a mature child. Hold on. He was born a mature child in Arcadia. So the Greek that would be used would be the Akkadian Greek. His district appearance, half goat, half man, delighted the hearts of all gods. See, they will translate it, he delighted all. They will translate it, half goat, half man, delighted the hearts of all gods, which is why they name him Pan, meaning all. In addition, Pan's name is the basis from which the word panic is ultimately derived. So you will find this when you dig into the Hermesian story, where you will find the story of Pan.
Okay, can you give us
Now,
those sources?
Oh yeah, you can go to GreekMythology.com, Greek, mythology, mythology.com, and you will find not only in Pan's role, but in the name, God tends to see things differently from mere mortals. So it should surprise nobody that once Hermes wrapped Pan in warm skins of mountain hares and brought him before the Olympians, all the immortals were glad in heart. You see all again there. All the immortals were glad in heart. And these are quotes. In fact, since Pan means all, these are quotes. In ancient Greek, it was believed the origin of Pan's name could be traced back to this event. So therefore, when you say Pan, meaning all, you are still going back to the Greek god.
Okay, Brother Bullets, do you accept that? Do you accept that source? Do you accept that, or is that bullshit?
I don't accept it, because what the brother is failing to understand is that the word Pan predates the god Pan. Remember, when he was born, they named him Pan. That's like somebody naming me Haven when I was born, and then now I come to embody everything that is Haven. The word Pan predates Pan the god. Even when you go back to the Greek letters, like you were saying, it's an N. It's like a capital, like you took a lowercase N and made it big. You got like an A with a like an accent mark on it, and you got a V. That word predates the god. It predates him. When he was born, they named him that. That's like if I had a kid and I named the kid Joy. Then somebody try to claim that if you use the word joy, you're referring to my daughter. The word joy predates my daughter. I named my daughter Joy because she brings me joy. The same way that the God's name Pan because he brought joy to all.
So who is they that you're referring to? Who named them that? Who is they?
The people from the mythology, the story. They named him, like the people who made up the mythology about Pan. They the one who came up with the name Pan for him.
Do you
like
have
even
a
if you
source?
want to,
Do you have a
he
source?
just gave you the source. Like if you go to
I
mythology.com,
know, but you said you didn't accept it. You said that source was bullshit, pal.
His argument is that the
I
didn't say the
source.
Pan came before the Greek god Pan. That's what he said.
I know
I
what you're
didn't
saying,
say-
but I'm asking him to give us a source, and he just referred to Black Lotus source, but he said he didn't accept like Black Lotus source.
No, I didn't say I didn't accept. I said I didn't accept what he was trying, his spin on it. I'm saying that the word Pan, like, 'cause if you go to his source, like he just read, they named the god Pan. When he was born, he was named Pan. That's what it was. He was named Pan, like I just said. I'm using the analogy with my daughter.
So you saying the author who created the story, which we don't know who did, he the one who named the Greek god Pan.
Yes, after using, because the word Pan already existed and it means all.
So-
and when the god was born, they named him Pan, like I said with the analogy with my daughter.
So-
the word
so the-
joy exists.
So the word Pan was the word all before the Greek god.
Yes,
And so they took the Greek god and they named him that word.
yes. And like again, when he even brought up the spelling in Greek, you can look up the spelling of Pan in Greek. I told you how you spell it in Greek. It's like an N, an A with like an accent mark, and a V. That word predates this God. Like I said again, back to analogy I'm using. If I have a daughter, the word joy. If I have a daughter and the daughter and she born and everybody and I see everybody looking at her and everybody's so joyful, I said, you know what? I'm gonna name my daughter Joy because she bringing joy to everybody. So that's her name now. Nobody can come now and just claim that now my daughter. If you use the word joy, you're referring to my daughter. The word joy predates my daughter.
Okay, so what language you so it was a Greek language that he was using, right, to name it, because it was
Yes.
already referred to as also, and then he just took it and made it and fused it with the Greek god or whatever, right?
He named the Greek god
Right. The word was already there, and he just took
it's already there.
a word and just made it to them. And I'm saying, like, so it's the same source as Black Lotus, so you can go to the same source. What is it? What's the source?
GreekMythology.com. You go to GreekMythology.com. I'm waiting for this other one to load up.
Okay. So he said so basically he's saying that they named him, that the name was there before the Greek god, and so the reason why we know this word, why do we know it? Where we get it from?
We get it from the Greek. We get it from Greek because remember, we speak in English. A lot of times when you're trying to like use science and stuff like that, they use ancient Greek or they use Latin. That's why so many prefixes and suffixes, if you trace their origin, it goes back to Latin or Greek.
Right. So let me try to explain what you're saying in like a little layman's term, so people can understand a little more. So basically what he's saying is that somebody took like a comic book character and they named the comic book character Pan. So the word Pan was already existing. They was already using it. It was a normal word, and a guy just basically made a comic book story, and in his comic book story there was a god named Pan in it. Does that sound simple enough?
Yeah, that sounds simple enough.
Right. And so, and his sources is the same sources as, and so now, so how did this relate to to us, Black Lotus? How does this? I mean, how does this comic book character relate to Pan Africans or Pan African?
Well, the ones that put it out, just like the Pan Hellenic, what is that? I forget the name. The PNHC, is it the Pan? There you go. The National Pan Hellenic Council. These are a bunch of fraternities and sororities.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
They're into the Greek. They're into studying the Greek deities. They're going by these Greek letter organizations, Alpha Phi Alpha, and all those other ones.
And
so this is what they're into.
Right. So now Black Lotus is saying the same people who wrote the comic book is the same people that came up with the word. It came up with it using the Pan African. So now
that's right.
So now now it's like, well, they the same people. So the same people that made that comic book is the same people that made up the Pan African story.
That's right, and that's why I say etymology is important, because it doesn't mean all. It means rustic, rustic.
So now that's how we know it today, because the same people that made up the comic book with the Greek god Pan in it is the same people that gave us the Pan-African story, and that's why we use it today. So, Mr. Bullets.
Wait.
Also, you need some sources on that, though, Black Lotus. We need some sources. We can't just. You got some sources on that? You got any?
Oh, this source I have with the rustic is actually from the Homeric, the hymns to Homer, the Homeric hymns. So these are from the writings of Homer. So I mean, if you're gonna have to show me some writings before that where Pan exists without, it has an existence before this deity.
It's a word. It's a word in their language. That's like it's a word. Pan is a word in the language. And again, if you go back to the story you just read, it says that they named him Pan because he brought joy to all. He was bringing joy and all that other stuff to all. The word already existed. Like, if you want me to look up to show that the word, when the first time the word was ever used in the Greek language or something.
Yeah, because that would be a source. Because I'm already looking at my source right here. It's www.theoi.com. /GEORGIKOS /pan.html. So everyone could go in there and see that when you look up Pan, it's going to say Greek name with the Pan symbols, transliteration Pan, so we can see it because we're using these West Germanic second generation English characters. And then it says Roman name Faunus or Inus. And then it says translation all Pan, but it has rustic before it. So when you're saying before the deity Pan, if you're going to deal with it in the time of when Pan was existing, actually it did not mean all. Pas means all. And that actually has something that has to be connected to it as well in a sentence form. But we're dealing with Greek writings. So you're going to have to show Pan before this deity Pan. And I'm already showing, if you go to this site right here, again, www.theoi.com, you're going to find that the translation of Pan actually is rustic. It's pronounced restic. Restic, rustic. And that's what you're going to find. And again, the Greek language has dialects, by the way. And this is the Arcadian. So, I mean, I could read the whole thing over, but to stick with.
Black Lotus, you cutting out, fam. You cutting out.
This is when you look up the Arcadian Greek, the word for all comes out to rustic. Then you got to find out what rustic means. It doesn't say all. So when it comes to what rustic means, that's rural countryside. That's like calling someone a country. Now, as I already read before, it says in the classical age, the Greeks associated his name with the word Pan, meaning all. So that's in classical age of the Greek. So you're going to have to look up classical Greek. Say, however, its true origin lay in old Arcadian word for rustic. So you're not even saying you're all African or all Asian. You're calling yourself a rustic. And that's why
That's
I say the etymology of these words gonna blow your mind, because you're gonna find out that you did not know that the actual etymology and origin it goes back to rustic, doesn't go back to all.
That's first. That's not true. Second, again, let me explain something to you. It does mean all, and language is also living. When you dealing with etymology only comes into play when you're talking about a certain time period. You cannot go say, well, a word meant something this 100 years ago, so it must mean that this right now. Just like the word devil. If you go back to the original etymology of the word devil, or go back to it as far as you can in English, it meant a trickster. But we know if you say devil right now, you're not talking about a trickster. Whether you're talking about a wicked person or you're talking about capital D devil, in the Christian sense. Words change meaning throughout time. You cannot say a word does not mean something because in the etymology it meant something else 100 or so years ago, 200 years ago. Words change. Words change all the time. That's not how you do breakdowns of words. You don't say, well, it meant this 1,000 years ago, so it must. So if you say it now, you are talking about the meaning 1,000 years ago. Unless we read in 1,000-year-old text, that's the only time we talk about etymology, so we can understand what they meant in context. It's all about the context. Again, if you can, that's a simple lookup right now. If you type in pan prefix, what does it mean? It will come up as all. That's as simple as that. That's what it means. When you look at the word for what it means, and you look at it as a prefix, as in connected to other words, it will tell you it means all. You cannot look up the word by itself and then say, well, it meant this by itself 3,000 years ago. So the prefix must mean that. The prefix is totally different. Just like when words change subjects, like in discovery. When you say discovery in law means what? And today means show your evidence. Discovery in a common sense means what? I found something. We don't need to go back 1,000 years ago to find out what discovery meant 1,000 years ago, if the word even existed, and then try to define what it means now in law, or define what it means in a common sense that we talking. And that's the same thing with pan. Again, you talking about pan, the word by itself. We talking about pan, the prefix. And even if you want to talk about it by itself, it still mean all, because I gave you the spelling of it in ancient Greek. And it's the same spelling as the God's name. Because if we can show that, like if somebody want to present that, just type in to Google simple pan prefix, the meaning of pan prefix, and it'll come up and tell you. And I think that's what people we getting confused. That's all it means. It doesn't mean, it doesn't have any type of secret other meaning other than that, like some secret hidden meaning to try to trick somebody. That's a whole different story about whether you believe you African or you don't, or the Pan-Africanist organizations were created by white people. That's something totally different. I'm gonna pass it. Pass the mic.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah. I kind of had to step away. I don't know what just happened. Chief Holiday was supposed to be the host. D-Red, if you out here, man, you come host the show. I know you familiar with this type of stuff. I don't know where we at. So I guess I'll just make it up. Okay, sorry, I just got to make it up. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lotus said the pronunciation of pan was also Thunus.
Yeah.
Is it Thanos?
The thing he was referring to when he was saying that is the Latin counterpart. You know how you learned in school. You have Mars is the Roman god for war, but his counterpart in Greece was Ares. You know how Zeus is the Greek god, but his counterpart in Roman mythology is Jupiter. Well, that's the same thing with when the person he named, that is the That is the Roman god counterpart name to Pan.
Okay. So let's just start from we gotta start from the beginning then. So is there any way you can show us where like the word Pan was used the oldest use of the word? The oldest use of the word. Can we start there?
I would have to look that up, like the oldest use of the word. But again, even in the story he just read, the god was named Pan. He was named Pan, and he was named Pan, like he said in the story, was because he was bringing joy to all, or he was bringing, or he delighted all.
Right. But he also saying the same people that named him Pan is the same people that gave us the name Pan African. So that what ties them two together, because the same person did it.
But if the same person still did it, it still would mean all, because the same way that same person named him all because he delighted all, and they named us. They came up with the organization Pan African because they kind of consider us all African. It's still all.
Yeah, that could be one consideration, and it also could be the God too. So we need to figure out what did they mean about it, right? So we can find out what mean. How could you prove Black Lotus? What did they mean? Because you guys are saying the same thing, but it all boils down to what did they mean, right?
The context. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
it all boils down to context. What did the people who came up with the word Pan-Africanist, what did they mean when they put that pan, and especially when they was using it as a prefix? What did they mean?
Right. But the only argument Black Lotus got though, because he did say that they was all fraternity and Greek fraternity guys. So coming from that paradigm, he has a little extra little bump in it because of that paradigm. Now it don't 100% means that his shit is legit, but he has an extra little backup on that.
Yeah, but I'm not refuting that they spoke Greek. I know they speak Greek. That's why.
No. We talking about the same Greek fraternity, the weirdos, the paddle smackers, and all the Greek fraternity. We talking about all them, and saying that they meant a Greek god. That is not. I'm trying to say that is not that far fetched.
All right. Now I get you. Now I get you.
True. That don't mean it's true, but it just means he has a little, all right. Like a little extra little point on his side because of their image that we have.
Now I get you, because I thought you were saying like, that we trying to figure out what did they mean when they said Pan.
Right. What did
the Greek fraternities mean? All right, cool. When they said Pan, what did they mean? All right. So yeah, he can show a source on that. The Greek fraternities, I don't know what they were referencing. I'm just talking about the word Pan as a prefix, as people use all the time, as just basically a highfalutin way of saying all of us. Like I said, back to when I said about the beginning, when I said like Pan Christian, all Christians. Let's start an all Aboriginal movement. Let's start a Pan Aboriginal movement. That's Pan, the prefix all. So if he's trying to say that it was a group of people who was using the word Pan, but they meant it as the god of fraternity, then that's something totally different. And if he can show that, I'll say I wasn't here to debate that, and I'll give you that.
You'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah.
Black Lotus, can you show that? And I also got a question for Mr. Bullets. Do you know the reason why a person that speaks English will use a Greek term for something? Because most of us speak English, so most of us would naturally say all Christians or all Pan or all Pan or Africans or all Africans. So could you give us a little breakdown of why would somebody want to like talk weird like that? Like that would be kind of weird. if somebody came here and said, man, pan all y'all, you know what I'm saying? Pan you guys, pan mother effers, and they talking about all of us. You know what I'm saying? It would be kind of weird. So could you give us a little breakdown? Why would somebody even want to use that for that?
It's about being highfalutin and trying to talk over people's head, like being highfalutin, because people like that's the language opposed to be like Greek and Latin is the language they use in science. That's why when you will have a regular thing when it's called like we call it the flu in English, and then they have like a big sciencey word like we have like what is it? Like what is a big word? Like
secretive. They trying to be slick and secretive.
Yes, it's like because it's the same way that why the Bible was kept in Latin, because nobody who could read Latin. Like about time people started using Latin and Greek words in conjunction with like English and stuff like that. They were dead languages. Like you had to like go to school to learn them. Nobody was speaking Latin. Nobody was speaking what we call ancient Greek. Nobody was speaking that.
Right.
And it was about
good point. Yeah. Good point. So they was trying to they were trying to be sneaky, sophisticated, you know, on some I don't know, some weirdo shit. Right? That what you saying? Something like that? Or fancy, right? Or would you say that? You going in?
I didn't come to debate that, and if that's the case,
so Black Lotus.
Wait, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Yeah, my brother.
So basically, I don't know. From what I'm getting from the situation is that, you know, what he's saying makes complete sense. What you saying makes complete sense. So it's all boils down into what you believe. Unless you can prove that these Greek guys really mean the word, really mean that devil or whatever, or that God or whatever it's supposed to be.
All right.
Can you?
I like to share. I like to share something on top of this that who really coined the phrase Pan-African, you know. And that's what I like to deal with. I like to deal with who really coined the phrase. But
that's different than what he's saying though. So you might have a good point in that, but it still doesn't bother his argument. It still doesn't, you know, go against or debunk what he's saying.
No, this is not going to go against. This is going to show that this is going to give names and dates. See, I've been given articles where you could get to stuff where you can find the sources. The Homeric hymns, you know what I'm saying? I given that out. The sources where you can go online, you can Google different sites such as the www.theoi. So I'm giving my sources for what I'm reading. But it's like now let me look at it from Haven's point of view to see, okay, well then how are they using it today and who really did that? And that's when you get to the Pan-African Congresses. Now, I'll read this. I'll try and read it as fast as possible, just so these names can be said so we can see the dates and know when it was being used in our community. Because forget when they used it, when did we start using this? So when it comes to that, the name given to 7 international meetings planned by W.E.B. Du Bois, aka Du Bois, between 1919 and 1929. So this is new. It's not even 100 years old, of which 4 actually materialized, and another meeting in 1945 in which he participated only. You know what? Hold on, y'all.
I got a question for you too, Black Lotus. When you done?
Okay. Let me just focus on. Let me get to the important part. Let's just go to the origins of the term Pan-African. Pan-African was coined. It is claimed by Trinidadian lawyer Henry Sylvester Williams in an 1899 letter concerning the Pan-African Conference of 1900. It appears, however, that Du Bois had a much greater claim to that term. It is plausibly derived from Pan-Slav, Pan-German, and Pan-American movements, of which the most influential for residents of the Western Hemisphere would logically be the Pan-American movement. Oh boy, we got a problem there.
Black Lotus, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, y'all. No. Oh, you done? So I got a. So,
but yeah. Go ahead. Go with the question.
So can you? Because you now it becomes like a court case now, because you basically accusing these people of of using it as a guide, and he's saying they're not. So can you give us something that they have done that before with, like something in their past where they done that before and named something out of a god before?
Yeah, there's so many. Let me think of a good one. Thursday. Thursday is a day that we say every single week.
Well, hold up. So you saying
one day out of the week.
So now you going off, because now you saying the same people that gave us Pan-African is the same people that gave us Thursday.
It's these same people. It's the same. You know what? I mean, I could just, rock
that
the blanket statement and say the Royal Society, but I like to.
The same group of guys that you say with the Greek fraternity, with the B.D. Du Bois and all them, same group of guys that coined it and came up with it. Can you find something else that they use with the god in it from Greece? A Greek god or whatever.
Oh, you mean the brothers and sisters?
Whoever
that's not.
Whoever came up with.
Yeah, we got to deal with the people. Okay, yeah, because we got to deal with the people who put this stuff together, and we're dealing with people with von, like Heinrich von Treitschak. These are the people that put this pan in it. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with the Bismarck. You got to deal with the University of Berlin, 1892. So these are the type of people that put it together, and therefore I can say, yeah, these are the same people.
Okay.
Now, I mean.
So can you prove that though? Can you prove that?
Like, are they related, or are the same people that are part of the same institutions?
Like, how are you connecting them with each other? Because we don't have the same understanding. You deep in this stuff, Black Lord, you gotta understand. So we not, and I'm not. I'm clueless as hell. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm boring as hell. I don't even know where Cheap Holiday at. But how are you pinning these guys together? What information you using to connect these guys?
Well, I mean, I'm pinning them together because when you look up the origin of the word and the ones that coined the phrase, the university that comes up is the University of Berlin. So all I have to do is pull up the University of Berlin professors that teach Greek, and I'm sure they have them. I mean, if you want to go through the details, but the University of Berlin, look up the Greek professors at the University of Berlin. Let me read this whole thing so we could give a clear understanding of that. That Du Bois is the only major participant to link explicitly in print all four of these pan movements. In 1888, he gave as his valedictory address at Fisk University a speech titled Bismarck. Du Bois said that Otto von Bismarck, the German chancellor, again, the German chancellor, let me say it one more time, the German chancellor was his hero because of his feat in organizing the reunification of Germany. While at the University of Berlin from 1892 to 1894, Du Bois wrote a PhD dissertation in economics under the Pan-German Gustav von Schmoller, or Schmoller. Heinrich von Treitschak, whom Du Bois described as a fire-eating Pan-German, was the philosophical leader of the Pan-German League and discussed its tenets in class. During this period, Du Bois also traveled to Pan-Slav centers of Prague, Bohemia, the borders of Russia, and Krakow, Poland. So, I mean, I just want to share because this is tied into the coining of the phrase, which is all late 19th century. So these are showing you the brothers,
right? So
who are using this for the first time.
So Mr. Bullis, if he can find these same group of guys that took that name and made it, that took that regular word that everybody used to use and made it into one of their characters. If he can say, well, they did it again here, too. If he can point out another time they did it with another Greek god, would you accept that?
Or you mean like if he can show that these people that he's naming, they wasn't when they were saying pan-Germanism, pan-Slavism, and all that, they was in reference to a Greek god? That's what you mean? Like if he can show that, will I say?
No, I'm saying like because I'm saying like the same people because you clarified that they was using the word before the Greek god, and so somebody took that word and made a character out of it. And so Black Lotus is saying those same people that made that character is the same people that gave you Pan-African. And so what I'm trying to say, if Black Lotus can show you another case where they took another word and made a Greek god out of it, would you say, would you accept that? Because now he's saying not only did they do it right here, but they did it right here and right here and right here. And so the word pan is no different. Would you accept that?
Yeah, but the word pan as he's using is pan-German, pan-Slavic, they meant it as all as well in those contexts. If you look it up, that Otto von Bismarck is the one who created Germany. Because remember, there was no Germany. There were Germanic people who all spoke it, but there was no one unified country named Germany. There was an area called Germany, but there was no one country called Germany. Otto von Bismarck started the pan-German movement to unite all Germans to come together to create a country. And W.E. Du Bois was copying him and said, well, we're going to create Pan-Africanism, where we're going to start a movement, we're going to bring all Africans together. That's what that was about. He was just copying him. Even in the examples he gave, they were still, with those white people, they were still using pan as all. And W.E. Du Bois just copied them. I know W.E. Du Bois is the one who brought the term Pan-Africanist to us as black people in America. I know that. I know about the conference that the first conference in London, and then he did the other Pan-Africanist conferences. I know about that. Again, this is not me saying that everybody got to believe in Pan-Africanism, or Pan-Africanism is true, or it's the best way forward, or we Africans. I'm just saying that when they was using the word Pan-African in that context, they was just using the word pan, the prefix, as all. That's what they was trying to say. He was copying them. It's just like when people say black power. Who said power? Who was the first people to say power? White people. And then white people started saying black power. Then black people just say, black power. I'm not saying that it's the God or anything like that. That's what I want to see. Him show me that these people was, when they was telling us that believe in Pan-Africanism, when they were saying pan, they was referring to the God. That's what they really meant. They didn't mean all as the prefix, as the Germans he just named, who W.E. Du Bois was copying. Because that's the only thing. I'm not saying that people need to believe in Pan-Africanism, like I said in the video when I made to him. I'm not saying everybody got to become a Pan-Africanist. I don't say you got to believe you African or that's the best way forward. I'm just saying that when they were saying Pan-Africanism, they were saying that pan was representative of the word all. That's it.
So is that a yes or a no?
If he can show me that's what they think when they said pan, they meant the God, then I say yes. I give it to him. He showed me the Greek fraternity that when they were saying pan, they meant the God. I say, you got it. The term Pan-Africanism is referring to the God. You got it.
Right. What I was saying that if he can show you some other cases where they did it, would you accept that?
Other cases like what? Like somebody having a word and then it was the name of a god, then they switched it to something else. Like he was trying to give the example with the word Thursday, like that.
Right, like the same exact thing. How they took the word pan and they used it as a character. Let's just say they took the word jaw and use it as another character, and it's another god named some shit, and they used the word glass and they took it and they made it to another god. Like if he can show you reoccurring cases where they did that, would you accept that as they used it for the same thing as pan?
I know that they have done that before. That they have taken words that and named it after a god, and then people use it differently today. Like when we first started, I used the example of justice.
The same exact people.
Not if you mean same exact people as white people, then yes. But if you mean same exact people, like, oh, this was like one group that sat down and decided this at one time, no.
No, you wouldn't accept it if it was a.
No, because like I said, I know that they did this before. This is not
So if you know they
first time.
Okay. So if you know they did it, so they got a track record of doing this. Let's just say the people who named pan that existed before, and they took that word and they made a comic book character out of it, and they have done that before and made other gods out of other words. And you know
Yes.
this?
Yes, I even gave you the example of justice, and like what he.
So
I'm talking about the context in which we're using the word now, and as the prefix. I'm not talking about. I never said that nobody ever took a word that existed, named it after a god, and then we still use the word today. Right. I never argued against that. That's not my argument.
Right. I know. I was just trying to find out would you accept it if he can come up with some other cases. And so,
like you mean like just showing us like that this is something that has happened before? Yeah, because I said, I just used an example.
Okay. What's the guy? So who are the? So he say the same fraternity, right? Let's just call them fraternity guys. They the one who came up with the Greek name. And so he say that Greek name is attached to a god. You say that Greek name is not a god. So if he can show you other cases where they took other names and named it after a god, would you say, well, they must have did it there too? Because if they done it here and they done it here and they done it here, we kind of got no other choice but to believe that they done it there too. You see what I'm saying? Because the case leans towards that way. If they done it before, and now you take in one word and say, no, they ain't do it with that word. That word is cool, man. That's legit. But all the other words they mean gods with.
Let him give the example, and I'll say if I accept it or not. Let him give the example.
Okay, Black Lotus. Black Lotus, 10 years in the conscious community, fam. This is your career's on the line, fam. How many people we got watching? we got a couple people watching. Your career's on the line right now. He giving you that business, fam.
All right, I'll save my statement for afterwards. But like I was saying with Thursday.
Now before we get off, can you give us an example? The same group of people, and you're gonna have to explain what links them to each other. Because if you say, oh, they use the word jelly, and then the people from jelly come from Switzerland and shit, and then you got some old lady that connect them and shit. Like, we need some real shit. So, and then he said he'd accept it. He said he'd accept it.
Right. David Billis, he already knows. Like he mentioned, he already knows about that. I was talking about Thursday. Now we could say, oh, well, Thor is not a Greek. Well, then I could go to our calendar. Mars is a deity. So now we're identifying. Let's say Thursday in the month of Mars. Mars is a deity of war, Roman theology and shit. And now we're identifying that as a day in our calendar.
But that's a totally different other subject, though. That's a totally different other subject. So let's kind of use the same kind of context, because now you're going out to the stars and the moons and the solar system. So I get what you're saying, but that context is like way out in oblivion somewhere. So let's kind of keep it in the area where you can be 100% sure, or you can have some case to say, look, they did it here, and they did it there too. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep it in the same facility. Because when you going with the calendar and stuff, that's you going into science and you going to a totally different another path a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So he all he got to do is say no, I don't accept that shit because they talking about the moon. You know what I'm saying? But if you can give a solid answer like, okay, you got Pan-Africanism, and then maybe they made, PD Pansism, and it means Greek, or you know what I'm saying? If you can keep it in the same facility.
I mean, using pan again?
But no, not using.
Okay.
Pan, not using pan, but using something similar in that same ballpark that they came up with, that was named after a Greek god. That is have the same, and is in the same ballpark as pan.
I mean, I can use oh, here goes a perfect example. You've heard of the word nympho, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they've taken nympho. That's actually a title given to Pan. A nympho is a person who's have sexual desires that they can't control.
And that's a Greek god?
They want to. Nympho is actually not a Greek god. It's a title connected to Pan. But that's just a prime example. We're dealing with these words that are being used from Greek. Now, another Greek deity. Let me think of a Greek deity.
Yeah, we need a word similar to Pan, because basically you're trying to say, well, they did it here and they did it to Pan. So you know what I'm saying? So when you go to the sky and to the moon and shit, like, you can say that, but that's like way different. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even really count.
Well, it's the use of words that are being used in a content today. What we're dealing with is called neology. Neology is when you take a word that had a meaning and you change it to mean something else today. So when it comes to this neology, that's why, let me pull up the Greek gods. I'll run it down.
Okay. So
run down the
so
whole
he
list
gonna run it down, the Greek gods, and if he can get one, that's in that ballpark, then maybe he might accept it, and there you go. Maybe they did meet a Greek god. So we got.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Because Pan means all. So let's say, did they do that to every, because don't none of us speak Greek. But Chief Holiday, where you at, man?
Shoot, the people in Greece
man,
don't
where the
speak
debate
ancient
people
Greek.
at, man? Where the debate people at, man? Where the Chief Ether, man? Chief Ether, you do this stuff. Nah, Chief Ether gon' cheat, man. Chief Ether gon'.
Here we go. List of Greek mythological figures. All right.
I'm just
So we'll pull out the list of the Greeks and see which ones are used in certain words today. A lot of them are actually on the top of my head right now. I just can't think of them. It's my focus being on Pan, but
10 years worth of research, Black Lotus, man. You making us, man. Come on, Black Lotus. You the man on the words, but Big Black Lotus be breaking down those little ugly ass little words too. They be like, "Hatascapesis." I be like, hell no.
all right. Now you've heard there's the place that people go perform at in Harlem, actually right across the street from none other than Sonetta, where Sonetta sets his stuff up on 125th Street. There's a place that is right across the street from it, and it has the word theater after it. It's called the Apollo Theater. They use this word Apollo for people to come and showcase their talents and sing and perform whatever they can. Now, are they still saying that's Apollo, that's the god theater? They're not going to say that. They're just going to give you, this is a place where you get music, arts, and so forth. So that's a prime example right in the heart of Harlem right there, that Apollo is being used for a theater for black people.
So you saying Apollo is a Greek god?
Yes, that's right.
So how you saying the same people? How are you connecting the people who named that theater to the people who made Pan?
Well, we have to dig into who came up with the Apollo Theater when they came up with it, and we already seen the connection with W.B. Du Bois. So that's connecting to the 1920s.
Are you serious?
And 1930s. So we have to find out who it is.
Mr. Bullets, is this true? Is this true?
The Apollo Theater. That's the most popular Apollo Theater. Go in, Haven.
Oh, yeah. The Apollo Theater is named after Apollo, the Greek god. It's named after him, as in like they're using his name, but they're not referring to like they worshiping him. But like I don't understand naming.
That's a prime example of using.
He kind
My
of
bad.
nailed
Go
that
ahead.
shit. I mean, I don't. Each his own. Each his own. Each his own.
No. I'm trying.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to say. Like, is he trying to say that he named it Apollo, and because Apollo was the name of a Greek god, they usually was in reference to a Greek god?
Well, what he's trying to say is like they done it there too, and they did it with Pan too. So he's giving you two cases where they done it in our community, or they done it. So do you accept that case? Because he's giving you, actually, well, he gave you one case, but then, because I guess Pan-African is on the trial or whatever. Do you accept that?
They named it after Apollo, the Greek god, but Pan is not in reference to, like I said, Pan with the prefix is you talking about all. It's not actually named after a god. Like if you look it up, like if we look up Apollo, we know that's the name of a god. That's like me starting a movie theater and I name it the Thor movie theater.
But if you
what is that?
But if you also name something Pan too, so now it's in your track record, man. It's in your record.
They're not even the same people. Like the people who came up with the term Pan as in all as far as Pan-Africanism and all that, it's not the people who named the Apollo Theater. Those are two different people.
Okay, so now
they're not the same people.
So now Black Lotus, he's saying that HGR Dubois shit ain't true then.
No, he's not saying. He's saying the people that made the Apollo Theater are not the same. My argument is they're using the same philosophical terminology of a mythological deity to represent something of performing for our people today. That they didn't say come in the Apollo Theater and all you're going to learn about is the Apollo deity and everything we're going to talk about is some Greek mythological stuff. They go to the Apollo Theater to perform.
Right.
See, like, so the whole point is same thing with Pan. I'm showing you an action. This is an action clause I'm giving you right here. That means they're taking the word Apollo.
That's gonna be kind of hard.
I got some more for you.
Hey fam,
that ain't the only one.
Quick question, fam. Did y'all also realize that that's not the only Apollo Theater? There's another Apollo Theater in Shaftesbury, London.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so it's another one. So, but how are you? But this is the thing. How are you connecting them together? How are you doing that? I mean, I heard you mention E.B. Du Bois, but how exactly are you doing that?
Oh, because he's connected to the person that coined the phrase. See, we're dealing with phrase coiners who used this phrase first. No,
But how's you connecting that to the theater? Because that's what it all boils down to. Because if you're talking about two totally different people, it makes sense that you got an argument, but you can't win if there's two different people.
Well, I mean, you said the showing in Case Matter where a word of a Greek god has been used before and used for something else. I mean,
and that's
just one example.
These the same Greek fraternity guys that's in bed with the guys who came up with the Pan-African stuff, and that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The people at the Apollo, I guarantee they honor W.B. Du Bois. I guarantee that.
Okay, Mr. Bullets, do you?
Now, I don't know the exact people who built it, but I know that just like it was mentioned by Thomas that, there's another Apollo Theater. Was the Apollo Theater in London built first? Because we obviously see W.B. Du Bois taking stuff from the Germans, and I must share this. The Germans are one of the forefront people that deciphered this Greek language. It's the people from Germany who a big time percentage of people from Germany participated in translating of these Greek scripts, these Greek writings. Now, when it comes to the Apollo, the situation is I'm showing that there goes a Greek deity and they're using it in another sense. They're using it for what happens inside of the building. So same thing with pan. I mean, okay, we could say pan means all, but it doesn't stop the fact that those are Greek symbols that are tied back to a Greek deity. I would love to see where pan was used before the Greek deity Pan. I want to see that. I would love to see that. But
so this may help a little bit. It says that the Apollo Theater in London was opened in 1911, and it's owned by NYMAX Theaters, who also owns the Apollo Theater, the Duchess Theater, the Garrick Theater, the Lyric Theater, the Vaudeville Theater, and the Palace Theater. And the chief executive officer of Max Hoffamer is a chairman. So I don't know how much that helps, but this NYMAX Theaters owns both Apollo Theaters, the one in London and the one in New York.
Damn, I didn't even have to do it. Thank you.
So what fraternity ties do they got? What
That's personal. We're gonna have to look up their names and see what universities
them to
they
this
went to.
fraternity that names Pan though? That's
Well, he's talking about the royals, not necessarily the fraternities. The fraternities are under those people.
Oh, okay. So you just saying all these motherfuckers in bed. Oh, okay, I get it now. So that's a stretchy argument, but it does make sense, and
Right.
it is an argument.
Right, it's stretchy.
But it's stretchy though. But it is it is.
No, you
legit.
right. It's basically circumstantial. It's circumstantial evidence. That's basically all.
Right.
It
The
is.
shit's legit though. It's stretchy, but it's legit, Mr. Bullis. What you got?
At its best, it's circumstantial.
Yeah, because the people who own the Apollo today are not the people who put the Apollo together when it was named the Apollo. Like those are two different people. Like the people who own the Apollo Theater today are not, as far as I know, because I could probably try to look that up right now. They're not the same people. Like the person who designed it, everything. These are different people.
But it still had the same name. Just so the owners change.
Yeah, I think the person who might have bought both of them out now, but before it was different. Like the Apollo wasn't even always called the Apollo.
That's true.
But somebody came.
But
that makes it look. That's even worse. It really is.
So why did they name it the Apollo?
They should have left it that original name instead of slapping some Greek deity on it.
Wow,
that's
man,
the same thing with Pan
It's
African.
also making it a little creepy, man. It's making Apollo Theater seem a little creepy. I used to.
It should.
Everybody.
You already know some Greek freaking going on in there. I mean, hey, let me throw another word out there. Okay, Apollo. I won't say a victory.
What else you got? What else you got? Okay, Black Lord.
But the word ion, we use the word ion. Some will say ion means what, 1,000 years or somewhat, but this is another word we use in our English language, ion. Now, that one I could say not so many people use it, so it's not a high frequency word. It's a low frequency word, but that's another word that's still used. Ion or aeon or whatever.
Ion, what's that? A Greek god?
That's a Greek god, the Greek god of eternity.
Straight up.
Personifying cyclical and unbounded times, sometimes equated with chronos.
I thought
that's right.
Ion was a number.
It's a Greek deity.
It's a Greek god.
I got another one. Yeah. We use this word.
They got a Saturn.
Yes, that's right.
They got a Saturn. The Saturn Ion. They got a.
Yeah, it's a Greek deity.
This shit is getting weird, fam. This shit is.
What about this word? Have you ever heard of the word chaos?
Yeah.
Something is chaotic. That chaotic, and that comes from the word Greek deity, chaos. Chaos, the personification of nothingness from which all of existence sprang, depicted as of void, initially genderless, later on described as female. We use the word nemesis. This is a low frequency word. It's not really used in a common conversation. But nemesis, my nemesis. We use this word in English. The goddess of retribution. It's another Greek one for you.
So basically,
now I know you didn't want to
they
go
got
to space.
These words all over the place. They got these Greek gods. It's all through our language. So the word Pan ain't no different. They got them all. They got them all through the language, through the holidays, the birthdays, the stars, the moons, the cars. They all over the place. That's basically what
All
I'm
that.
saying. They all over the place. And so
That's
the
right.
word Pan ain't nothing but one little drop.
It's just one. Just one of many.
That's one of me.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nike's another one.
Yeah. We go.
I'm telling you, we can do this all day.
Yeah. That look kind of bad for you, Mr. Bullets. Fab, what you got?
I know there are Greek words in our language. Like when you look at English is have a lot of loan words from French, Latin, and Greek. That's not proving, again, that Pan, as in the prefix, is not meaning all. And when people were saying Pan African or Pan anything else, like he was giving an example earlier, they wasn't talking about. They didn't mean it as all. It doesn't mean that they meant it as the God, because that's what I'm saying. They didn't mean it as the God. I'm not saying that we don't have Greek words in our vocabulary. We speak English. English is an amalgamation of a bunch of different languages. Remember, English comes out of German, and it has French loan words, Greek words, and it has Latin words. That's in it, because that's what y'all basically doing. I just basically using basically all the Greek words that we have in our language, and we use it on an everyday, on some not so everyday basis. I'm not disputing that. I'll never say that that's not the case. I'm saying again that Pan, as in the prefix, they was meaning as all, and that's what they was referring to. They wasn't referring to the God. That's my only argument. I'm not here to say that there was no God named Pan. Never said that. Not here to say that we don't have a bunch of Greek words in our stuff. I'm not saying that a lot of people didn't even name a lot of stuff with black people after Greek stuff, with Greek stuff. Because again, you said how W. Du Bois, he took the word from Pan, because he said Otto von Bismarck was his what you call it. Well, they got that word from the Germans got that word from Greek, and they meant it as all, the prefix all. I'm not saying that that's not the case.
Yeah, we got you. So Mr. Bullets is saying that all this shit makes sense. It sounds good. It sounds all fine and dandy, but it still doesn't prove that when they came up with the word Pan-African, that they didn't mean all. So it still doesn't prove that. It's a nice little case. It sounds good and dandy. You can bite on it if you want to, but at the end of the day, the shit does not 100% prove that these Greek guys or these guys meant the God when they were saying it. And so, I feel like I learned some stuff. I don't think nobody will be able to straight up prove that. I don't know, but
I say this because it's getting late, and I might have to jump off in the next few minutes. I'm gonna say this was a good discussion. I learned stuff from Black Lotus. Maybe if in the future, maybe we could, if I can find it and we can look that up, I could probably try to show you if the word Pan before the God. And if I can't find it, I'll come back and say I couldn't find it. And I'll say, like, you got that. I was wrong. Maybe the sources I was using was wrong, because and you was right, because I ain't got no problem admitting defeat. We all here to learn from each other. I ain't got no problem. Like, if somebody was today to show me evidence conclusively that we was already here and we ain't coming here from Africa on slave ships, I would say I was wrong. I have no problem saying I was wrong or on any subject. But before, because I think Chief is still here. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he wanted to ask me some questions about one of the videos I made or whatever the case may be. But we all here to learn. That's the reason why I even made the video. And I will say this before we leave. Yeah, you could take it and do what you want with it. But the original name of the Apollo, I forgot what it was. But the Apollo used to be a white only area when black people wasn't allowed to go to. And it had a different name. But when they started when they turned into a black place where black people can go.
It was black first. I heard.
No, it was white first. It was white first.
One of the elders told me that over there in Harlem was some of our land that we started, and we was there, and we built one.
I'm talking about the Apollo, the building. I'm not talking about the land. I'm talking about the building, like the people who built the building.
Okay. I see. I'm sorry.
The building was a white only building. When it became, and it was named, I forgot the original name, but when it became a black building, when black people took over, then it was renamed to the Apollo. That's when black people were started coming in. That's when it became the Apollo. It wasn't the Apollo before black people. Once they turned it into the black venue that we know it as today, that's when it was renamed the Apollo.
Right.
I think the name you're referring to, Haven, is the Music Hall in Harlem.
That could be right. I think it was a person's name. You know how we got you know how you got like companies named Johnson and Johnson. That's like named after people. I think it was named after people or something like that. I could be wrong, but I know that it had the name when it was a white venue was something. It wasn't the Apollo. When it became a black venue,
you know what? You're
that's
right,
when they named it Apollo.
Right, because I'm looking it up right now. It says the theater, which has a capacity of 1,506, opened in 1914 as Hertig and Siemens New Burlesque Theater. You're absolutely correct.
Right. So, what up to the original Copper Empress up in there, shining up in there. We got John up in there. How you doing? So basically, you know, Black Lotus had a strong argument, a very believable argument, but you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, does it break the chain entirely of you know what Mr. Bullets was saying? It does not break the chain entirely, but it is a very strong argument. So if people want to believe Black Lotus, we completely understand why. And if people want to believe Mr. Bullets, we understand why. So we don't need to argue about it because we both understand each other's argument, and they're both respectable. You see what I'm saying? They're both respectful. I respect yours. It's cool. It's a little whatever. And you can respect his. It's cool. It's a little. So I mean, that's all. I mean, that pretty much, you know, all I would say. That's how I would handle it. You know, but when you put a little culture twist on it, you know what I'm saying, and you know our culture and you know how they operate, most people will probably lean a little towards Black Lotus because the way the culture is and the way they operate. But if you know what I'm saying, but if you want to stick straight to the definition and be 100% by it, I will believe, you know what I'm saying, you will, you know, lean more the Mr. Bullets way. But Miss, you are African, right? Or American?
Who, me?
Yeah, Mr. Bullets.
Yeah, I'm American.
Oh, okay. So he American, yeah.
Oh, okay. You American Indian. Peace. Is a conscious one. What's going on? You's American, right? Get Haven Bullets.
Attackiness in the building.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. We converting Haven Bullets to we're gonna have to get him some feathers.
He American.
Peace.
he American, right. He American. Do you consider yourself American or African American? You consider yourself
African American.
Oh, African American. Okay.
Oh yeah, because he be burning feathers, right? He be burning the feathers in the video.
I got a couple questions for you.
Uh-oh.
Now, when you say you're African American, are you? Is that politically or socially? Because that's not legally, right? Because you can't legally go to Africa and like get in over there. So that's like socially or politically, right?
What African American means in America? You know how you say you have the federal papers and it says check African American. Yes, African American.
What federal papers?
Any federal papers, they'll tell you it's African American.
So
that's new classification, man. That's new classification.
Wait. But some federal papers that don't like legally bound you to Africa. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't take no federal papers and go over to Africa and be an African. You see what I'm saying? So in their little system and their little political and their little social stuff that they got, they can lump you in. But legally, you cannot take no federal papers and actually go to Africa with it. You see what I'm saying? So,
But whoever said that's what the term was even meant for, or that's what you could do? When again, the term African American, it was came up with because people said that's the best term for us because people came from every part of.
right, politically. So I wanted.
Politically.
So I
That's
wanna
not a
talk-
lie. Only 6 people made it up, man, in the 80s, man.
Politically. Now I want to talk
Only 6
legally.
made it up, man.
I want to talk
What
legally.
did I ever say that six? Did I ever say that the term wasn't made up? I said that that's what they came up with. I said people came
Right,
up.
right, he never
What did
said-
I just say?
You said the
people-
political parties.
We
You said the
we-
political
No,
parties.
I didn't say
Right.
political party. I said the people
He
came
said-
up with the term because that was the best. They saw that was the best term for us.
Right, and so there was a political term. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't nothing legally. So, but I want to ask you some questions legally. You see what I'm saying? So no political, no social, just straight up legally. So legally, you are American, and so like I want to know like how have you done your lineage before at all?
What do you mean?
Like have you done
Like, have I took it-
history?
A little.
Okay, so how far back do you have to go to get an actual immigrant, an actual African immigrant? Like, how far back in your lineage do you have to go to get a real 100% African, somebody who came over here?
How far do I?
Yeah.
You got to go back pretty far, but I haven't gone back that far.
Would you say 100 years?
No. 100 might be too short.
So
I'm pretty sure
years?
200 might also be too short.
So you said like more than
You're gonna have to go back. You might have to go back 300-400.
So
300-400.
400 years, there was an actual real African that came over here, and then when that African had children, it was legally American, and so forth and so on. So basically, you're a descendant from that African person, right?
That's what I'm saying for all of us. I'm
Right,
saying
right.
that's
Now-
that's the stuff.
Now this is where it get a little weird, because when you use that same concept on Africans, it gets weird. Because now if I tell you where did Africans descend from, you're gonna tell me a monkey. So now that means Africans should be called monkey Africans because they descended from a monkey. You see what
I
I'm
never
saying?
said that. I never said Africans.
No, I'm just taking your same argument and I'm applying it to Africans. It gets weird as hell. Now, if you take that same concept and you apply it to Europeans, where did Europeans descend from? They descend from Africans. So therefore, they should be African Europeans. You see what I'm saying? So it gets a little weird, and it's not universal. It seems like the argument, it only fits a certain little group of people. You see what I'm saying? But when we have our argument, it's universal, and it works all over the galaxy. You see what I'm saying? It's universal. It works in any galaxy, in the ocean, anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're an aboriginal of America, you can be an aboriginal of Africa. You can be an aboriginal of Mars. You can be an aboriginal of Pluto. So our argument is universal. But it seems like the African American argument is only fits in a small group, because you can't use it for Africans, and you can't use it on white people, and you can't use it on anybody else but African Americans. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but it's about the context in which what it means. Because let's look at it like this. It depends on the context. Like, for example, if somebody's a firefighter, they fight fires. If somebody's a crime fighter, they fight crime. If you're a freedom fighter, do you fight against freedom? No, you fight for freedom. It's about the context in which you're using the word. That's the most important thing. It's about the context in which what does it mean. That's the issue. The context. That's why it's different for us, because the reason the term African American was even invented was because nobody could say what part of Africa anybody came from. Because the slave, if you learn the history of the slave trade, it tells us that black people, us in America, we came from damn near every part of Africa. So there's not one part of Africa you can actually trace yourself back to. That's why they came with the term African, because it's like, all right, y'all just from the continent somewhere.
Right.
Oh yeah, y'all just an amalgamated group of people from that continent.
Right.
That's what they meant.
And that's where the power kind of falls short. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But so you are descendant from an African. Like I said, you are descendant from Africa 400 years ago, which means everybody before then was actually Americans. You know what I'm saying? Besides that one little group that came over here, they was actually continental foreign Africans, and everybody else from then on. At what point do you say, man, I'm an American? Because white people did that in like 3 generations. Like most of they great grandparents come from Europe. In 3 generations, they say, man, fuck you, I'm American. And you go back 400 years and you still clinging to Africa. You see what I'm saying? So at what point do you say, man, I'm American, man?
That's too different.
This is my shit. My people died here. My people fought here. Y'all experimented on us. This is our shit. You see what I'm saying?
That's 2 different arguments. Saying that we are Americans, as in this is our land, because we've been here, we built this country, we've been here for hundreds of years, we were slaves, we fought in the wars, we did all this other stuff. That's totally different than saying that we are Americans. We never that's 2 different things. Because if we're gonna talk, because I have told people, and if Chief is still on the line, he'll know we have had this conversation, because he's the first person I've had a conversation with. I have told Chief that we are as far as we are an original people to this land, as far as we were created here. This is our land. We created our own unique culture. We are the people here. Right. But as far as you want to say that, oh, the slave trade didn't happen, that's totally different. But if you want to say black people in America should be seen as their own group, the same way Jamaicans are seen as their own group, the same way people in Nigerians are seen as their own group, and whatever the case may be, I agree with you 110% about that. We are our own group. We are unique people unto ourselves.
Nah, we never said we was all one group. All skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Wait, hold on, don't cut me off. Listen real quick, man, because I got something to say. Let me ask you a question. Who was Edward Blyden? Huh? Who was that?
Okay.
Who was it?
Nah, wait, don't. Nah.
This one came for blood now.
I'm asking you.
He halfway
who
home,
was he?
like, man. He halfway home, fam.
Who was he? Because me and you could set up a debate on a separate day, and I'll smash you. Period.
Ew, you gay. You gay. You just say you smash me.
I'll smash you to pieces. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke with me, because I'll run you off YouTube just like I did Dan Calloway. You'll be another one off YouTube. We can set that up.
He's a guest, man. Please. He's a guest.
All right. Yeah.
We can set that up.
It's 5 of us on here, man. Don't do that, man. You gonna get
all right. Well, let's put it like this. Because like I said, it's getting kind of late. I still have to go. But I will set it like this. Endogenous one, whenever you want to see me, let me know. Because I'll turn your lights out. You'll be gone. You're another one. Whatever you want to talk about, you'll be gone. You the same dude. Ain't you the same dude who called in and said on Saturday about the pyramid? And then people debunked your source in real time. You the same one. So you don't want no smoke with me, because you the same one who was trying to shit on Dan Calloway, and you was the same one on your channel this week talking about how you ready to work with Africans.
Huh?
So don't play with me.
No, that's Light Man. You think that's the Tonsinist one. You got the wrong person. That's Light Man. He just fucking with you. But that's a whole nother bill. All right, well, we gonna leave it on a good note. I'm out. We and whoever it was, if you want to set that up, let me know. What, peace?
Haven ain't playing.
Why you do that, Light Man? Why you? I knew Light Man was finna do that, man. Like man, you best. But yeah, man, the guy had a good argument. It was.
Not really, because he didn't show and prove. Nah. He didn't show and prove where Pan was used before Pan.
He narrowed it down to one. In the argument, he narrowed down to his main little point. You see what I'm saying? And so
it was about
that little point have yet to be, you know what I'm saying, debunked or whatever. But like I say, you had a strong
Yeah.
argument as well.
I'm not wasn't going to disagree with you. My point, the thing I was trying to say was, it was a matter of what the intent of the meaning of those who created. That's what he was saying. He was arguing the intent of the meaning.
Right. It was very, very specific. It was very, very specific. So,
Right.
So he had, you know what I'm saying, he was able to say, you know what I'm saying, to hang on to that. So, but like I say, at the end of the day, you believe what you want to believe, because I actually learned some stuff, you know, just, you know, about Apollo and shit, and the Greek god and shit. Like, I never knew motherfuckers in there dancing for God. I never knew that. It's kind of weird now. But yeah, I ain't know that.
Hey, you want to laugh at something?
But the
Data?
thing, though,
This is I literally demolished him in this debate that we had. Did the word all exist before the word pan?
I have
the
no
deity pan.
I have no idea. To be honest
But
with
he
you.
left. I was about to end
But
all with
check
that.
it out though. Check it out. Listen.
Listen, the brother understand that we need to become our own people. That is the bottom line. Whether he's an Aboriginal or a Pan-African brother, he understands that we need to be our own. And that's the bottom basis. You see what I'm saying? That's the bottom basis. We need to be our own. We shouldn't be trailing after them Africans that don't fuck with us like that. Like, we got, at some point, you know what I'm saying, we can work with the people, and there obviously we have maybe some kin or some genetic or maybe even some family members, but we have to become our own people, and he recognized that. So hold on. He don't need to bow down to the Aboriginal god and shit and kiss his feet and shit. That's good enough for me. Like, shit, he recognized that point. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a weird dude, but
Ty, here's the challenge, and this is something that I was talking on a couple of nights ago. People are under the assumption that you can't track the cargo that came from every ship that came to America and that came from America, when in actuality you can. It's called a bill of lading. And what people forget or ignore or choose not to think about is that every ship was owned by somebody, and every ship was a business. And when you're conducting business, you have inventory. The bill of lading that was started in Spain in 1524 or 15 in the 1500s, they took very careful, detailed notes, and they had everything listed that left, because that was the only way that the people that was receiving that a cargo could account for that shipment. Now here's the thing that the United States did that was even more so critical. Their bill of lading not only included ships, but it included every time a person left with their slave to go to the store. So you can actually go to the National Archives or to the Vital Statistics and look up any bill of lading. Not only do they give the names of the people, they tell you who they came from, they tell you how many kids they have, they even journal it down to the date of what they died from.
Fam, we gotta do that in the back. We gotta do that in the back. I know exactly what you're talking about. We're gonna have to do that in the background. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. So when people say they don't know it, you can't look it up. That's a lie.
Yeah, I know about that too. Yeah,
but it's not fake.
Yeah, we gotta do that in the background, like, you know what I'm saying, on some, you know what I'm saying, on some other stuff. If you get what I'm saying, like we need to know everything.
Ty, yo, and everybody on the panel, y'all see how when I asked him who Edward Blyden was, he ain't say nothing. He just got mad.
Like, man,
right?
You came off dirty, man. You came off snotty, man. He thought you was A1 though. He's finna cuss A1 the fuck out.
Nah. When I came on, I said I'm a conscious one. And then someone said, "Oh, that's a conscious one." Then listen. Then I was, I'm consciousness one. I corrected myself.
I know, but he thought you was A1. He's finna cuss A1 the fuck out.
But no, listen. He did a video. He did a video dissing A1 recently, like 45 days ago or whatever, burning the feather. I told you about this before, remember?
So if he dissed A1, why is he on this channel?
If
he over there dissing A1 and shit, why is he on this channel?
Well, he don't know that A1 be over here.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't think you know that it won't be over there. But guess what?
Tenkara wants to know who's Edwin Blyden.
Tenkara?
Yeah, Tenkara said, "Who is Edwin Blyden?" That's what Tenkara said.
It's the person that created Pan-Africanism. The white guy created from Zionism, and he passed on the Zionism teachers to this guy named Edward Blyden that was a Pan-African that created the whole Go Back to Africa movement, and he taught Marcus Garvey and everybody else.
Now after the smoke clear, here come Chief.
Chief Holiday, why you do me like that, man? Chief, why you do me like that? You gonna sit me in the room with Mr. Haven Bullets and Lightman Z, man? Oh man,
All connected.
Why you do me like
They
that, man?
all connected, man.
Oh man.
Y'all ran Haven up out of
Chief
here?
didn't want to see Haven get done like that. That's why.
He's really cut
Nah,
your boy
man.
A1 the fuck out.
He held his ground, though. I give Haven
hell.
that. He held his
shit was
ground.
funny as hell. He was snapped the fuck off at A1. I'm like, hold up, like man.
I have a question.
That shit made my night, man. I gotta go put my kids in the tub, man. I see y'all.
And I stir up some shit. Did he leave? Go ahead and ask your question, Tenkara.
My question is I wanted to know the description of Pan, and is he Baphomet? That's what I wanted to ask him.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a connection to Baphomet. You right.
Roger, Baphomet, Pan, all the gold guys, Bab, all of, and you know what? They all go back to Satanism. They connect with women too, but it's the spirit behind them. Go ahead, man.
That's right. It's all connected, and that's the thing that they're using these things, these deities, and all this stuff. They know damn well Pan is the damn deity. They know that. Go to any university professor that's a Greek professor that teaches Greek. They're going to tell you immediately, yes, that word Pan is the Greek deity. Yeah, it means all because of Pan delighted all. That's telling you that this word, that this terminology comes from this word. It's not saying that Pan existed and they named him this. They're telling you that the people who translated it out of it because the word all did not exist. And how can you date something before a deity? Please. But hey, that's what happens when people don't study Greek mythos. They don't get the understanding.
Because we put in I put the etymology link in the back chat. I don't know if you saw it, and it basically took that word back to like 145 BC or something like that.
Only 100 years back, right?
145 BC. But it broke down that it was taken from words like you said, taken back to Arcadia. But his whole argument, was not. His argument was tricky because he was saying that that's not what they meant it for.
That's impossible.
Because you can't. It's very difficult to prove intent.
Yeah, that's impossible. When we know about the month Mars, they're going to tell you immediately, oh, this is the month of Mars, and it comes from this deity in Roman mythology. That this word, look up in a dictionary, is going to tell you Thursday comes from Thor, that Wednesday comes from Odin, that Friday comes from Freya. You can't get around these things. But when you're dealing with something and it goes back to Greek character, and those same Greek characters, that means that there would have to be some Greek characters that mean all, and it has nothing to do with Pan. You couldn't show that. You can't show that. And you can't show anything saying Pan before the Hermian poems. You're not going to find it. I know he's not going to find it. I've been on this stuff, man, for a while.
Hey,
so I really don't.
I was asking, do we have any sisters in the chat that want to come on the panel? We need to hear from you. Yeah. We heard from some sisters earlier today, and it was phenomenal. So, are there any sisters in the chat that want to come on to the panel? We can send you the link.
I just wanted to say, he brought up what do you call it, Mars, and another thing is they always bring up Mars because Mars is the god of war, right? But the thing they don't tell you is Mars is also the father of Romulus and Remus.
Right.
In the story, right? And Romulus and Remus is under a dog suckling, and that's the Capitolian wolf, which is the deity of Rome. So they're basically celebrating the deities of that area, regardless. There's no where's
right.
the African deity? You see what I'm saying? There's got to be tons of African deities, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's deities over here, ancient American deities over here, man.
Yeah, no, but
That's
I'm
right.
saying like, if it's an African movement, why wouldn't they say Anubis Africa, movement, or
there you go. There you go.
Set African movement, or Hathor African movement, like Hathor is the goddess of love, so you got to say love Africa. There you go.
But then what that would be doing, that would be proving Lotus's point that it was named after God. His whole argument was that it was named meaning all inclusive. That was his hook. So he was trying to keep it away from. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but his argument was that it meant all. His argument was that was the intent of the meaning, regardless of what we try to say the actual meaning was. That's why he kept saying, well, you can't go back 100 years or 1,000 years, because he said keeping it in context.
Well, knowing like say where most of those people grew up and all the information that they went to like Harvard and they studied this and they studied that, like they were people of like, who had wealthy families, right? So they must have went to like really good schools. So they would obviously know where the frick pan is or what it means. Unless it was like, is pan like what we think it is or what society thinks pan is? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's the interpretation of like maybe both sides is where are they looking from? What is their looking at it? What is their mindset?
I'm gonna simplify it. Hey, look, Tenkara, it's simple as this. When you go look up the deity Pan, it's gonna say that his name means all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's gonna say. That his name means all, and it's gonna tell you a sentence. It's not gonna say just all. That means that saying Pan, that you can't use Pan by itself. If Pan, that means that it's in the Homeric hymn, it's in a Greek symbols where it says he delighted all, or all of the deities were delighted, or he entertained. It's something pertaining to that. When you just see the name Pan, so there's a group of Greek symbols that are around this. So it's no way around this. That even if you say, oh, it doesn't mean Pan, it means all, but then you go look up Pan means all because he delighted all. That's telling you that this word is because of this deity's name. This deity means that he delighted all. They took out he delighted and just put all.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is coming from that deity, child of Hermes, then that means that that's where it's from. Period. There's no way. I don't see how there's any way around it. But
nope.
It gets the simple thing is these Greek symbols represent this Greek deity. Is the one that delighted all. So when they say all African, instead of saying they Pan-African, say you're all African.
All African, yeah. Well, that would
don't use Pan.
That would be way more simpler because he said something about it's like flamboyant or fancy or it's like a secretive way to say like all, but why would you want to be secretive? Like I thought the movement was like because
it's a fraternal order. It's a fraternal order. That's why I showed the coining of the phrase. Who are the phrase coiners? Were the phrase coiners into Greek mythology? Were they studying and learning Greek mythology? You damn right. Were the Germans the forefront of the people translating the Greek stuff? Look, mentioned the people names. They studied Greek mythology. So you can say, okay, I got to find their diary to find where they say, yeah, Pan means all, has nothing to do with the Greek deity. It's bullshit. You're not going to find that. Excuse my language. You're not going to find that nowhere. No matter what. These are words that come from Greek, come from a Greek deity. Otherwise, don't use Greek. Same thing with Africanus. Africa.
Yeah.
That's Latin. So how are you taking two words from two different languages and slapping them on each other?
Yeah.
Pan-African. That's Greek Latin words. So, hey, Pan-German. Where's this word Germany come from? Pan-American. What are these words? We're taking words from other languages and putting it in front of words There's a terminology for it. It slips my mind that there's a terminology that describes when you take two words from another language and put them together. So there's a lot missing in it. I didn't want to go there all into the details because Haven Bullets couldn't get past the fact that he couldn't show and provide and show me where Pan is used prior to the deity being born, coming into existence and performing the task that he delighted all. That means that his name Pan existed before that terminology. You'd have to show me where Pan is used before the deity came into existence. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Impossible. So you can't separate. Okay, here goes an example. Nicotine is inside of cigarettes, right?
Yep.
There was a German scientist named Dr. Nicotine. So now when you smoke a cigarette, you're getting nicotine into your body. Are you going to say, I'm getting this doctor into my body? This doctor that lived in Germany in the 19th century into my body? Or are you saying you're getting nicotine? That's something that comes from a cigarette. It's still named after Dr. Nicotine.
Yep.
You can't get beyond that. The origin of names, the etymology, where the sources of these words come from. You can't get around that. Dr. Nicotine is where the word nicotine comes from. So somebody going to tell me 1,000 years later, no, it had nothing to do with Dr. Nicotine. He's the one that created the drug. There's no such thing as Pan being all without the deity Pan, the half Greek, half man, the half goat, half man. Excuse me. Reach the freaks button. Half goat, half man. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. So I wanted to play cool about it. I have my little trick words or whatever ways to trip up Haven. You know, he's gone. So it is what it is.
What island did Pan come from?
I forgot if it was an island in Greece. I just know it's from Arcadia.
Arcadia, okay. Because
I don't think Arcadia is an island.
If we look back at Arcadia and see what the life was like in like 1400s or 1500s, you know what I mean? Who are those people? You know what I mean? Like, were they the ones that actually came over here? You know? And their descendants.
Yeah, that's worthwhile research. See if the Akkadians came over here and see the connection they got to the Zuni people because they have a Pan-like deity.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely worth looking into. And you know, there's other things connected to this as well. You got a Jesus character, Yeshua ben Pandera. You see Pan in there. Like, you go all around the board and say Pan. Look, you see Pan, Panasonic. You see Pan left to right. Your music. You see how they have Pan in your music? And I can say, oh, that's connected because Pan is the one that played music and entertained the deities.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It goes to,
but there's other terminologies.
They go off the pronunciation too. You know what I'm saying? Even though it may not be spelled like Pan, but it go off the pronunciation too. And same thing with balling, and like, I'm about to go ball.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about ball. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thing, y'all. Real quick, I don't mean to get off topic. This nigga Haven Bullets. You know, y'all had a debate about Pan Aboriginal. I guess that was the debate. It wasn't just necessarily about Pan and the goat god and this. It was more so about him calling us Pan Aborigines, which he's been arguing that for a very long time now with some other people, right? But guess what? He knew who Edward Blyden is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could have talked about Pan and goat god to prove him wrong, but if y'all would have just brought up that one name, that kills the argument. Any argument against them. If you bring up that name, they're gonna get mad. That kills them. All right, man. My bad. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, I didn't want to do Haven Bullets like that, man. It's a couple other names too I could have brought up that'll really have hurt a whole lot. You know, I'll say it now. The Committee for the Relief of the Black Poor, organization founded in London in 1786. So you had a whole bunch of our brothers there were some hobos that joined the, this abolitionist movement, and the abolitionists, they were studying Greek. They were into that. So I could have, I could have put a hurting on him in a way where he would have had no rebuttals. So I made sure I pulled up something that he would know. So I don't want to have a debate with someone and I start bringing up stuff they don't know about, because then, they won't have a rebuttal. Something like, I don't know. And I'd rather have it, oh yeah, I know about that. I heard about that. Yeah, okay. About something that's connected to this word pan, that's showing and proving that it was some brothers that were dealing with some fraternal, nasty, weirdo nonsense. But that's another story. I can show and prove that too. Well, I'm gonna hop out and hop back in, y'all. Give me one moment. One moment.
Man.
I'm trying to send Empress Hobart the link, so give me a second. Did everybody leave?
Nah, man. People just quiet, tired, being patient, waiting for somebody else to start up the conversation. But
Yeah, I'm trying to find a link so I can send it to Empress Hobart so she can come in here and shed some light on some things. Let's see. I should have told Ty to put it in the chat room before he left. They got so many back chats that we got, it's hard to find it. Yeah, it seems like the chat was a little bit perturbed. I'm using the term mildly because Lotus didn't go in on him like they thought he should have. They felt that he let him off.
You let him off? What you mean, off topic?
Let him off easy instead of going in on him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like he put a good angle to hit him with or whatever. But the angle, it can only go so far. You know what I'm saying? Because the person can be annoying. I'm not saying he lost or whatever, because honestly, at the end of the day, we know who we are. So you can't beat this.
What up, fam? What up, fam? Yeah, we learned something. I learned something. That's what the debate's for, right? Ain't this what it's supposed to be for, or was they really supposed to be for a winner? I thought the debate was for people to actually try to learn something. But but Black Lotus came through, you know what I'm saying? He hold his own, you know what I'm saying? He had a very strong argument, but Mr. Bullets, he narrowed this argument down, and he was on that one specific point, you know what I'm saying? And that specific point is it's one of those things that you can never know, like fucking how the earth look and shit, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I do gotta say, y'all, is that I know how in the community a lot of people
do what somebody else is doing, and the way they
see a lot of people talk about
kind of get swept under the
talk
rug
about the enemy and how the enemy, how the white people are enemy and stuff. Don't nothing fears them more than us actually getting along. So it's very important that at least when we on this platform, we at least try to get along. Now some people just rub you the wrong way. You don't like them. You just gotta explode. But if we can try to get along, you know what I'm saying? That'll, you know, I think that'll be a good thing, a good start. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I ask. Just at least try to get along. Because there's lots of platforms out there where they'll love to have you and Mr. Bullets arguing shit all night and shit. Like, that shit, you know what I'm saying? It has this little place. It has this little time and date. But the one thing that these people fear the most, y'all, is us actually getting along. And so it's very important that we try to, you know, display that. Now, we're not trying to fear them or nothing, or make them fear us, but if we can at least try to get along, maybe it might work. Who knows? You know, maybe somebody might say, you know what, man, I actually, you know, that guy's not too bad. But, you know, but then again, there is some times where, you know, we bored and we just want to have some drama. So, but yeah, Black Lotus, you came through, man. You hold your ground. You had a pretty strong argument. I believe it now. You know what I'm saying? I kind of believe what you're saying. It's too many words out there that are attached to Greek gods and shit. So I go on that angle. That, you know what I'm saying? I kind of look at that angle. You know,
Data, we have the original.
We got the Empress.
That's right. We
My
got
bad,
the Empress
Tom.
on. So go ahead, sis.
Okay.
Speak your piece.
Welcome. I'll be right back.
Why do y'all treat these Pan-African with kid gloves?
That's the beautiful right there. Oh, hey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Speak, sister.
I just want to know, why do y'all treat them? They don't treat us when we come over there with kid gloves. They rude to us, cutting us off, blocking us. Quit treating these folks with kid gloves and quit trying to convince them that they are a part of the original people of this land. If they Africans, tell them take their ass back to Africa. So we playing this game with them, debating with them, but they convinced that their bloodline is African. Them be Africans. Better yet, let FEMA deal with them. Because if they ain't got it by now, that's the next option when they come around with these 2020 census, and that's their ass. You can't convince somebody to be something that they convinced that themselves that they're Africans. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's real talk.
We do this with them every day. You know, they get on, they make their live streams, and we just need to quit going over that. Don't y'all know they this word spells what they doing? They bring that negative energy over here for a reason. It's to get you thrown off. Get your frequency down.
Hey, original cop members, how you been?
I'm fine, and you, sweetie?
I'm doing well. You know, I try to give y'all a little message today. You know what I'm saying? I didn't include everything, but what'd you like about today with the build and everything, the videos? Learn anything new? Like anything about it?
Yeah, I liked it. Well, with the little part I could see, I was busy. Today was my only day out, so I was doing a whole lot of stuff. So I did, you know, peek in and out. I enjoyed. I listened to a little part of Chief Colinago. So yeah, I got a little of it, not a lot though. But it was a nice build to me so far. What I've seen.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, it was many parts where I touched on women in the videos. Mm-hmm. Most of the videos show nothing but Aboriginal women. And,
okay, I'm gonna go back and watch. I'm gonna go back and watch it. So I just had time.
Yeah, but man, what time is it, man? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Man.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock there.
Oh, you want a different time?
Yeah, I'm in Central.
Oh wow. Okay, bet.
Yeah, but
yeah, I
y'all.
agree with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah. I was about to just say like, yo, like yeah, you know, Chief would have went in on Haven Bullets. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that in a debate. I'm just saying like as far as like just talking with him. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing. They want to debate. You know, in order you have to have a sit down and a discussion with clowns, because sometimes they don't understand, and they still thinking they evolved from monkeys. You know, get his ass some bananas and send his ass on. I'm at this point, you know, if you don't understand that we came here as humans, you basically saying the Most High was stupid, so he created a monkey first to try to get the, you know, get started. So he started off with monkeys, then he gets okay. So, well, let me straighten their backs up and bring their knuckles up off the ground, and let's see how we can work it from there. Let them knuckle dragging, tree climbing, banana eating motherfuckers go on. Excuse my French. So if that's what they think they was doing, was hanging and climbing from trees, that their ancestors was doing that, shit, I'm trying to figure out if y'all was, you know, these great apes and shit, why the fuck y'all didn't beat their ass when they were trying to put y'all on some fucking boats? Because you should have goddamn it strength of an ape. Oh, come on now.
They should have monkey power, huh?
Yeah.
They should have that that Caesar power. No. Boom bop. Like, yeah. No. Boom bop. Like a wide receiver.
Do a Donkey Kong on their goddamn ass. Do a Donkey Kong on their ass.
Exactly. They coming with the slave ship, throw the barrels at them.
Yes. And my whole thing is, it common sense to tell you that these people was going over and taking these people about 1,000. Like, I guess they were just standing on that. I want to go too. Me next. Don't forget me. Dumb motherfuckers. They laying on their sides and pissing shit. I just don't get it. I'm like, okay, they say they got all this college degrees. My common sense, I don't have no college degree, but my common sense outweigh any motherfucking college that they got. I come from a college of common sense, university, because they damn sure lacking it over there. All what's his name? Star Satan and all his Muppets, because he's the one pulling the strings. Y'all better stop. They need to take the Pan-Africans wrenches from them. Quit giving these people wrenches. They ain't doing no bringing negative energy over here. I'm like, what? Do we got any wrenches over there on Star Satan page?
I don't think so.
Nope.
That's what I thought. And we're trying to convince people, trying to be clear.
Wrenches, we're lucky if we're not all blocked.
Exactly. All skin folks ain't kin folks, and you can't convince somebody something that they're not. And that's just the bottom line. That's like trying to be friends with somebody that don't want to be friends with you. What the fuck? Crazy. Every day it's madness. Every time I come to YouTube, it's madness.
Yeah, that's me. So I try to display, try to have some display of unity, because there's nothing more fearful than us getting along. See, when we argue and when we bickering, that makes a lot of people feel comfortable. You see,
that's the thing.
See, if we would have came up here and we would have all been arguing and throwing name at us, some people would be right at home like, yeah, I love this shit. But when they see us actually getting along, it actually makes them a little nervous. Because now they're like, oh man, what if they team up? Oh man, what if they, you know what I'm saying? It makes them a little nervous now.
They is not gonna team up because they have an agenda.
No. Ain't nobody teaming up. I'm just saying, but it makes, so it's important that we kind of show some level.
I ain't showing no love to no clown.
But see, they lost though. You gotta understand they lost. So at some point you gotta look at some like, okay, this is a lost person.
How long you gonna stay lost when there's libraries all in everybody's state? There's the archives, the national archives. So they're not lost. They know exactly what they're doing.
Right, and
They
that's what.
pass these spells. They come in here to lower the frequency. So sometimes you do gotta get down there with the snakes. So you know, come on now.
Yeah,
Ain't none of them lost.
yeah,
None of them.
yeah, you do got a point. But yeah, everybody got a different way. You know, you got a point too. You know. But where Black Lotus go?
He said he was coming back.
They monkeys.
Yeah.
Now what do monkeys do? They monkeys here. Come on now.
Hey, sister, your mic is a little too close.
Is it?
Oh, go ahead. Go in.
I'm just saying they monkey as hell. So you know you can't convince somebody that they human.
Yeah.
We've been on this road now, what, going on a year, and they still pushing this straight out of Africa theory. They agents by now. If y'all ain't got this, that they are really pushing the European agenda, but they still ain't looking at it like this. Okay, if we started off as monkeys, so basically what the European is saying is we're the monkeys, then along came the humans, which are them, and that's why they treat us like monkeys, like animals, because we carry that gene. They're not the monkeys. That's why they want to say evolve. All of a sudden, then that's when the humans start walking with them. It's just stupidity. Like I said, common sense. Everybody don't have it. One thing, this is what I know in this world, because I ain't saying the European teaching. Education, because we all know that's just indoctrination, but you got to have a little book sense, common sense, and street sense in order to operate in this realm, period. And they are lacking common sense and book sense too.
I'll use that Disney ball. We got Quad Band. Where you been all day? All time flat in the house, man. Where you been? Y'all, y'all don't forget we still got the 24 hours. We still got another 3-4 hours left of the build. And we got the Copper's Empress up in here giving the Pan-Africans the business.
You playful.
Oh, just
Hey, my whole thing with the pan, that's a deity, a half man and half goat. Pedophilia, all that is linked to that. With Pan African, that's some old gay shit. So you know they pushing that agenda. Everything you look at on TV is what? Some man kissing another man. They represent all this since they so Pan-African. And first thing they'll holler, I'm not gay, but you doing gay rituals. You holler, you pan. And that's a fact. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of all that. They do fraternity. They with all it. They can say what they want to say.
Black Lotus is back.
That's only because we ain't seen it happen, but we all know that stays a part of the Pan-African.
Black Lotus, I know you could have
my signal bad. I got an electric storm going on.
I know you could have went in, man. You could have brought out one of those books, man, and you would have tore the damn house down with some of those books. But yeah, I actually learned some stuff, man. I didn't even know Apollo was a Greek god, man. That shit's weird now. Just saying it.
Anything, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of it. It's a number of different gods, and they got you worshiping different gods every day. Monday is moon day, Sunday.
Right.
So, anything is just a different god that they have you worship. Oh, but my bad.
Right.
They don't know this.
Yeah.
Tell them, Empress.
Jazzy Fox, you want to come up in here?
Yes, bring my girl on in. We need that energy, that high vibe.
Oh yeah, y'all still got y'all 24 hours still coming up next too. So we definitely need to get y'all on the panel as well. How'd y'all like the light man Z, man? With y'all hanging in there with
Yeah,
us?
oh, yeah. I was able to peek in, in and out because I was busy today. My only day off, so I had to peek in, peek out. I caught a little. I did it. I enjoyed what I was hearing. So yeah, he got it. He's young, but I like his fire. Yeah.
Of course you do,
You
cause
should have
fire
hit him
like
with the
fire.
chimpanzee.
And you ain't
Chimpanzee.
yeah.
Chimpanzee. Haha. They're not ready for that one.
We gonna leave.
So you saying the word chimpanzee? They talking about a Greek god?
Oh yeah, Pan Africans. They came from monkeys. It's all in the same family. Well, now they just some walking.
Lotus, I don't know. You might.
Now they just some straight walking clowns now. They went from monkeys to clowns. Yeah, descendants of them.
That's
they
right.
clowns.
I don't know about that one, Black Lotus. You might be stretching it with that one. I don't know.
No suits now.
Now notice that the clowns play a part in this because that's where the Shrine Circus comes in. So they all, so y'all do all that over there in Pan Africa. Ask them what is they guard when they grind in the shrine. It's a whole lot of characters over there, ain't it?
Oh man.
I swear them people crazy. You might well say they devil worshippers. So let's put that out there.
Yeah, right. They say they're Pan-African. They're devil worshipping, half goat, half man, Baphomet, Akamoth, and all that type of stuff. African. Some androgynous, nympho, sexual deviances, homosexuality, all that's tied into that. That's what they.
All of it.
Damn.
Yeah, man. See, I didn't want to bust that out because I was waiting for Haven to really go in on it, but he couldn't because he's incapable of, because he doesn't have knowledge of the Greek and the Greek mythology and all that type of stuff pertaining to that name Pan.
They know. I bet you they know. They ain't just. They know.
That's why
they just hoping you
Empress.
don't know.
There you go. That's right. There you go. And I know it. I know it like the back of my hand. It's nasty nympho. Nympho is the terminology tied in the Pan. The nymph. He's a nymph. Nympho. Sexual deviant.
Yep. You can't shake niggas' hands like that. Ain't no telling what they. Ain't telling what they got on their hands.
Oh no, there's all kind of babies on them hands.
Yes. I don't need your spirit over here, my boy.
Yeah, I don't want to get all to the nasty talk and the nastiness of the culture, but yeah, that's why the Greek fraternities and the sororities and these alphabet boys, these sorority boys, yeah, that's what it's tied to. That's why when it comes to the coining of the phrase, W.B. Du Bois name pops up with all kind of Germans who are very freakish. And then the University of Berlin, come on now, bust out the Berlin when Hitler had to get all those nasty hunchback prostitutions and all the nasty stuff Hitler had to run out of Berlin. And guess where Pan-African, the coining of the phrase, started? University of Berlin. Thank you. Nasty, sick, sadistic Africans. And Africanus means anus. So we got some freak in the anus stuff going on here with Pan. How they do that?
That's their nickname, Butt Boys.
Hell no. Wow, y'all crazy. Pedo pseudo.
We gotta be glad we're on here because I've been obsessed.
Y'all crazy. Some pedo pseudo.
I bet they be patting each other on the ass when they walk past
cleaned up Berlin.
Pedophile pseudos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Like that silhouette football where they wearing those tight stuff where they slapping each other on the butt. Yeah, that's why you got to go to a university. You got to be a part of a Greek freak sorority. Well, Greek freak is fraternal. The sports with the basketball and the football. They got to slap each other on that butt to show that they got that pan society going on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's nasty.
Well,
it's all nasty, and that's what they hiding.
Yep. But you know,
that's why the Mossy people. Oh yeah.
They've been showing us a little different side, even on TV. That's why they doing so much now. They were just sliding it in just to see how you was gonna react, because they was giving it to you little bit by little bit. Now just all blown out with it. You know, you see women kissing on TV, men kissing on TV. You know, patting of the ass on TV. They've been giving all this to you, but if you don't know, you think, okay, this is just in the script. No, it ain't in the script. It's what they doing for real in real life in real time.
So how did the skillet get panned?
The skillet.
Yeah. How did the skillet get it?
I don't know.
How the fuck? Black Lotus you could linguistics, linguistic genealogist or whatever the fuck they call them these days. How did a Greek god get a skillet, fam?
Hey, out of the frying pan into the fire. That's why he had to leave the way he did. It was starting to get too hot.
Yeah. He's somewhere slapping somebody on the ass right now. I did it over there. I'm telling you, you know, he done left up out of here mad. He got on up out of here. But look how much.
Asar Imhotep. Okay, Asar Imhotep admitted that when he did his initiation ceremony to his Greek university to be a computer science person, not an African Bantu linguist, a computer science person, that he bent over and let them pat him on his butt. Pants draws dropped on his butt. That's that pan stuff. That's what the pan Africans are into.
And what do they do?
That's what they into.
And what do they do when they paddling? They make them bend over, drop their pants when they paddle them with that paddle.
That's right. That's right.
Well, hold on. Is these some kids or are these some grown ass men doing this? Are we talking about
grown ass men?
We talking about
We
talking about grown ass men doing it?
Yeah. Okay. Now I know you done seen like shows where they show them in college doing the hazing, and they'll bend them over and hit them on the ass with those big old paddles.
Yeah, I seen little kids.
That's sexual. You know, that's sexual.
Yeah, but dumbass teenagers, I mean, I can understand like some dumbass teens. I can at least understand a little bit. You dumb as hell. But some grown ass men with full beards and shit, that's just weird as hell.
Grown men.
I knew and coming up in school, boys in junior high had beards. It was nothing new. His stuff started, you know what I'm saying? Shit. When they got up in college and they started pledging, they grown. They're 18. You might not be legal to buy beer and cigarettes and all that, but they start fucking about 14. Come on now.
And they call it taking wood.
So you have 3-4 years.
They use that paddle.
2022. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of a grown ass man, but
okay.
2022 years old on the paddling.
The paddle is made of wood, right?
Yep.
It's taking that wood. Come on now.
Regardless, you know what I'm saying?
They taking the wood. Now, what do they call a man's?
Right. I mean, I wouldn't do that shit, but a dumbass teenager, I can kind of brush it off as a dumbass teenager. But some grown ass man, dude, you fucked up. That's wrong.
No, because actually, when they start pledging, they don't know what they getting into. A lot of these people are pledging, but don't really know. They don't research it. All they just see, oh man, they having fun. They get drunk. They party.
That's what it's called, taking the wood.
Yeah, taking the wood.
Oh, my bad.
Look. When both my kids went to college, I told them exactly what pledging was for and what the purpose of it, and none of my kids ain't gonna let you put your hands on them. So that whole concept of letting somebody put their hands on you in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, that don't even sound right to me. And I was in the military.
Like my mama told me, you got two sisters. You don't need nobody extra.
So basically, that's the gateway of success and shit. You gotta let a motherfucker spank you and shit. Otherwise, you just gonna be a.
Why do you think everything is so sexual now?
Man, that's
Ty, just think
up,
about
man.
it.
That's fucked up.
They
Man,
push
y'all better
sex
get to college
like
early. If you gonna go to college, you better get there early. You better be a teenager, and we might be able to give you a pass, and that's amazing.
no, we can't give no pass because we know what's really going on. You know, they push sex now like they got them and pushing a Coca-Cola on your ass.
But I'm saying, if you like still a little kid, you still have some like, innocence left. You know. But if
Look who is you talking about?
Cause this kid now ain't that innocent. Let's be real. Let's be real about it.
I don't know, man.
Look, Uncle Si spelled out pan this way. He said, the P is for penis, the A is for ass, and the N is for nuts.
P is for penis, A is for anus, N is for nuts.
No,
that's what they doing.
Cause I know I ain't never let no dude hit me no shit like that. But we used to do dumb shit when we was little. We used to go around and we used to break off basketball rims and shit. We used to throw rocks, bust windows, and all types of stupid.
That's boys stuff boys do. Y'all crap.
But it was
shit.
dumb. It was dumb. It was
dumb shit. But you do dumb shit. We all allowed to do dumb shit. Right. But you know, come on, that just is all.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? Little stupid shit like that. And
shit, we done shit. We used to play on people's phone when they used to have they lose their dogs and shit. Cats, tell them we got their cats, and we did all kind of silly shit to get a laugh. So you know, we was allowed to do that as a teenager. But when you go into doing this shit, that's a whole nother ball field.
But I'm saying at that age where you're liable to get some dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? I could kind of, you know, give you a little room when you're at that age. You know what I'm saying? If they get you.
But if you tell your kids, if you really tell your kids what this is about, and basically they don't really understand that this is really worshiping another deity, you know, you have to explain to them, do not get into this, because this right, you are opening up portals and shit into your life that you inviting shit into your life that you do not have no control over.
Right, and somebody take advantage of your innocence and they get you in some fraternity and shit and spanking your ass. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a grown ass man, you know they finna spank you, dude, and you still signed up. That's wrong, man. That's just fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
That's our emo tip. That's the next person that needs to man up and get on here. I've been calling him out for about 5 years. Coward Johnson. Did you say man up? Our emo tip. Yeah, he need to man up because he took that paddle to his butt. He might not be able to man up.
Y'all invite him on short but shorty and not this one.
Wow, that's crazy. And these
Jabari having them on a bus.
Jabari next.
Instead of having their ass on the bus, just put them in a classroom with them slobbing and all that coming out their mouths. I'm just saying, you know, because at this point they got some mentally challenged things going on.
You know,
with them,
I can do that, right?
And give them the dunce, give them the dunce hat too. They all need
dunce hat. With the hat.
Not the dunce hat. Make it a fez.
Oh damn, a fez with the cymbals. To smack around like the little monkey with the fez on,
and then put somebody up at the chalkboard pointing to America and pointing to Africa. You clowns!
You know I could do that, right?
But we finna school y'all. We finna school you.
Make the chimpanzee the teacher.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Oh yes, the chimpanzee.
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
Chimpanzee. By the way,
how about we make a chimpanzee? How about we make it a transvestite too? How about fucking let's go out?
Yeah.
Oh damn, throw a dress on the monkeys. All right.
Yeah, and have the monkey bent over with the paddle.
Oh wow, the visual. Wow.
Yeah, you just killed it.
Instead of having it one monkey, make it like a classroom collage.
Yeah. But have their faces, have the bodies, have the bodies, have their bodies monkeys,
but have all of them with their face, Sarnetta face, everybody face. You got to make it all because see they really believe in this.
Where's Waldo with a bunch of monkeys and their face gonna be in it? You gotta find it and shit. You have like 1,000 monkeys.
No. You gotta say it like Caesar. No.
You got like 1,000 monkeys and they hidden in there and shit. Taking about 15
they
minutes.
all hidden in there. Boy, you talking about to make them some? They be furious behind this. Oh, I can see them up all night calling each other. Yeah, monkeys.
Oh, man, y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy.
I'm serious though. Gotta give it to them. We all need a good laugh behind these clowns.
Like I said in my presentation, man, Pandora's box is open. Y'all don't want to know what's in that box.
No. You know, once you open Pandora's box, ain't no going back.
Well, who does
Ain't no going back.
Who is Pandora? That's what I want to know.
Pandora. You know Dora the Explorer? Pandora.
I don't get it.
Pandora.
Pandora's box? Oh, yeah.
You never heard of Pandora's box?
No.
Oh, man.
I mean,
that's what I named the presentation. Pan-African. Hey, Ty Data. The name of my presentation was called Pan-Africanus on Trial. The opening of Pandora's box. I opened it. That's why they hate me. I exposed the hockey puck and all that type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one that put it out. I'm the one that had James Small saying, "Oh, it's ridiculous what he's saying about the word Africa." Yeah, Africa means piece of shit, good for nothing. Yeah, that's exactly what the word means. Afrique. That's what it means.
Okay.
Don't try and say Tunisia was called.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Hello?
Everybody got kicked off.
I think.
What the hell?
I'm here.
Stop talking about the let's talk about them Pan-Africans. Everybody got shut down.
I dropped it too hard on them. All right. Yeah, Tunisia is a land that they try to call Afrique. No, that land is called Lebu. It's not Africa. It's not Afrique. It's Lebu.
Lebu. They
not
look like
Africa. Not Afrique.
Lebu. That sound like somebody scratching their ass. They got Lebu on their hand.
You know what?
Lebu actually means heart. It means heart, but damn. Lebu.
Lebu, boo-boo. They got some boo-boo on their hand.
Oh. Team Doodoo Vision.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man, don't get James started, boy.
Hey, I'd like to mention, see, James Flames is a part of my team. Another one of the team members is officially surfaced. They in trouble. I'm bringing them in too. Claim your inheritance. It's a wrap. About to give them hell, man. From now on, they're gonna get hell on high water. Pan.
My whole thing is they argue for Africa. I'm talking about these Negroes argue like they grew up in Africa. That's the crazy part. They like, we ran around the jungle and we was taking care of business. We still living in shacks and huts. If y'all really came here, if your ancestors really came here and built something, why the fuck y'all ain't still building in Africa? Cause I don't mean no harm, but most of that shit over there look like some motherfucking tin cans and shit they threw up just to have a fucking roof over their fucking head. Let's be real now. When you look over there.
So Ty, I put the link to Pandora's box in the back chat so you can go look at it.
We're gonna be real now. How they living? We ain't gonna so they claim that they came, they was brought over here and they built America, but you ain't built shit over there. Come on now.
It ain't got nothing to do with no kids, right?
What, Pandora's box?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
it's about Greek mythology and one of the gods, Greek gods.
Okay, nothing to do with no kids though, cause I can't have it. Okay.
No, man.
No, but for real though, Come on now. They want y'all to really think that they done built something. They ain't built shit. Cause they sitting over living in Swallow. I'm talking about literally, just look at how the villages look. That ain't even a village, man. It's not a village. That's a bunch of shit thrown together. But you came over here and built some buildings. Ain't there some fun? There's some
See, Ty, see what you did? You didn't got the original Copper Empress Hobart all twisted. She going in. It's official.
No, I'm just being real. Just think about it. When they show y'all pictures, I know not all of Africa look like it. Don't get me wrong. But the ones that they were selling, the ones that they show you, look at their villages. Let's just be real now. Just look at everything. Don't nothing match. Don't nothing go together. Nigga got a tin side of the house and a wooden top, a wooden roof. Nigga, the house should be wood and the roof should be tin. What y'all think?
It's easy to lift a tin roof over wood. It's a wood roof over tin.
Nigga ain't got two things to go together. Nothing. A hole in the ground with no commode. You know.
Look. Uncle Sael going in, man. Look. Let me put some. He got just do it. No, just pan it. Then he put in parentheses pan pernick, and then he says Obama. He says Obama remix speech. Yes, we pan.
Well, we know we panning.
Get him, Uncle Sael. Get him.
Well, we know Obama is paying. Come on now. You know, I try not to. I want to say, or at least think that, you know, your girl ain't no man, but who knows? You know, because they able to do a whole lot of shit now that make people look like women and make men look like, you know. So come on.
She's a pan woman.
Mm-hmm.
Transvestite is a pan woman.
All right.
I'm getting silly. I'm getting petty, as Ty Daddy would say. You getting petty, Lotus.
But look, come on now. He didn't pass or do nothing for us. He did everything for the LBGT. Come on now. Ain't that kind of weird that you passed and everything for them and did nothing? I mean, absolute nothing. And people want to say, well, he was in there with, you know, the people that was really controlled. He could only do so much. That's bullshit. Look what what's his motherfucking name now that's in there? I can't even think of it. Number 45. Look at this clown. He's doing everything. So come on now. Y'all know who Obama was. Obama was sweet. He's sweet now. Cause people think cause he played a couple blues songs and all skin folks ain't kin folks.
He was a bisexual cokehead with Swiss lineage.
Well, he African.
Yeah, exactly.